How the hell do you build a video game character that doesn't even walk? The man just teleports around from vase to vase. But if Gyokko is ever playable in Demon Slayer 2, then I would actually love to see him transform when he goes into a surge. So then you would play as him in his final form, where he can finally move normally. And so I sat down and rewatched the entire season of Season 3, analyzed every move frame by frame, and came up with the entire moveset for Gyokko. This is how the character would play if he ever came out for Demon Slayer 2. Gyokko would essentially be a summoner slash setup character. And that might sound similar to what we did last time with Hantengu, who was also a summoner character that we compared to someone like Ginyu in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Well, Gyokko is less of a Ginyu and more of a Nappa actually, summoning disposable minions like the Cyberman, except those minions are mostly fish. So he's the kind of character that might struggle if you're in his face pressuring him, but if you give him space, then he's gonna start summoning and he's quickly gonna overwhelm you. But the biggest challenge is indeed, how do you do movement with a character that doesn't walk? I think the answer is teleportation. Instead of walking, Gyokko is gonna retreat into his vase and then pop up from another vase. If you've ever played Skullgirls, think of how Double dashes around the stage. It's that kind of movement. Maybe not as fast, but animation-wise, that's kind of how it would work. And yes, just like Double, Gyokko would actually be invulnerable while he is away from the stage, while he's teleporting, which is really strong on its own, but think of the stuff he's actually missing. First of all, he has no jumps. He's in a pot. How the hell would he jump? And second of all, he has no tracking dash. In Demon Slayer, if you hit the circle button, you're gonna automatically dash towards your opponent. Gyokko does not have this. He can dodge around, yes, and that will do the teleportation thing, but no tracking dash. So very strong movement with teleportation, but some pretty big downsides too. That said, most of his attacks are gonna be ranged attacks or summoning, so I don't think he'll miss that stuff too much. What are his attacks, you ask? Fish. It's all fish. Gyokko doesn't really fight himself. He summons fish, and every time you press the attack button, the fish is gonna do a different attack. Almost like a puppet combo. And if you let him go all the way into the finisher, he might even summon more than just a single fish. With the up and the down combos, you might even get different fish, the ones with the little blades. And this is where things start getting overwhelming really fast. If you just let Gyokko press the attack button, you're gonna be swimming in opponents. So here's what you do. You just fight back. You can actually attack the fish and they go away with one hit. That actually interrupts the combo from Gyokko, so you would have to start the combo again. I know this might be hard to imagine right now because there's nothing like it in Demon Slayer, but here's a quick example of how it could work using BB Tag. Imagine that this cute waifu is Gyokko. Her name is Elizabeth in BB Tag, and whenever she attacks, her persona is gonna attack for her. And she's got a lot of different attacks she can choose from while staying completely safe away from the opponent. But the easiest way to deal with this kind of pressure is just fighting back. If you hit the persona, it just goes away and Elizabeth has to start over. So if you place Elizabeth with Gyokko and her persona with fish in this 2D fighting game with an arena fighter, then maybe you get an idea of what I'm thinking for Gyokko. Maybe it was easier to just say he's like Deidara from Storm. And that's just his attacks. Obviously, he's got skills too, but before we even talk about his skills, let's not forget that he also has strong attacks and grabs. The grab has to be this octopus hug. Gyokko picks up a vase, a big tentacle comes out of it, and then grabs you. So a long-range grab, probably not too different from Enmu's. And for the strong attack, well, if his normal attack are fish, then the strong attack should probably be
bigger fish.
An armored giant fish comes in, does his attack, and then vanishes. But let's get to the skills, because that's what you're here for. I know what you like, Tim. And we start simple. The skill button is a long-range attack. Not quite a full-on projectile, but something that you can quickly press if the opponent is trying to get in after destroying your fish. It's this water splash where the water cuts you, so it's pretty straightforward. You press the button, deal damage. Done. Not everything has to be complicated. That's what the tilt skill is for. This is where we see Gyokko's setup nature start to come alive, because you press the button and Gyokko summons these flying fish. And the fish will shoot needles at a delay, which not only deal damage to you directly, but also apply poison. Now this is more of a projectile than the previous ability, but one that only activates after a while. It's almost like a range trap. They go away if you manage to hit Gyokko or make him block in order to make it balanced, so he's gonna struggle if you're in his face, but if you give him enough time to set these up, then he can be very oppressive. And the guard skill is gonna be an actual counter. If you press the button, Gyokko pulls out this vase and nothing happens. But if you attack him while the vase is out, he's gonna put you inside this water bubble and start a combo for free. It's like UI Goku. If you just do this, nothing happens. But if the opponent attacks while you're doing it, you get a cool counter attack. I guess it's not too different from Dead Calm now that I think of it. Gyokko has Dead Calm, I guess. But in this case, this can give him time to set up a bunch of different minions, so a single counter could really shift the battle here. And of course, since this is a demon, we have some demon skills as well, and I've made both demon skills traps. When you hit the demon skill or the tilt demon skill, you're always going to place down a vase, but the two vases do two different things. On one of them, if you step on the vase, you're going to get sucked in and take damage like a regular trap, so the way to counter this is just to attack it with a skill. That would destroy it, much like the other traps in the game right now. However, if you attack the other vase, this monstrosity comes out of it and it deals emotional damage, which means it's an unblockable attack that stuns the opponent. The right way to counter this vase is to just step on it. It's almost like the two vases are complete opposites, and they do look very different too, but in the heat of battle it can be hard to stop and remember which one does what. They're both easy to counter, but you have to choose the right option, and you have to think fast because Gyokko is not going to be standing still. And you might be thinking, well, what if I just stay away from the vases? That just solves the issue. Yes, but no, because as long as one of these vases is on screen, Gyokko can just teleport to them by pressing a single button. So it's a massive tool that he has to dominate the stage if you don't get rid of it. It's an instant teleport to just get away from danger or to just zone you out, whatever he wants to do. But that's his basic moveset, the one he has available at all times. So with that, let's spend some meter. Let's boost, let's surge, and let's figure out his ultimate. So first, whenever you boost, your attacks gain a special effect. Since a lot of Gyokko's moves have water or fish, I think it should get a water effect. Same as Tanjiro or other water breathers in the game. While in boost, you also get a new combo finisher, and I think we're gonna use the Octopus Vase Hell once again because it's a blood demon art and I feel it's very underused if we just get it on the grab. Besides, you can give it a completely different animation because just look at how big this attack is. That would look pretty good in a cinematic attack. And then we have the Surge, and if Demon Slayer 2 ever becomes real, I would love to see Surges actually transform characters. For Gyokko, this would reveal his true form and his entire moveset would change as well. Now, we went a bit crazy with the Hatengu last time and gave him 5 unique skills while in Surge, basically building 2 different characters, but for this one, I'm just gonna do 2 new skills. Because the character itself is already very different when you go into a Surge. Suddenly, it's not a setup character. He's a brawler. He attacks you with his fists. He's in your face punching, and he can move around instead of teleporting. So for his skill button, we are gonna do the same no matter if you're tilting the stick or if you're hitting the guard button. Every time you hit triangle, it's gonna be the one skill, and it's the Killer Fish skills, the Blood Demon art. Gyokko's movement becomes unpredictable. He quickly attacks from different directions, from all angles really. It seems like it's a really powerful skill, especially if you have the armor that comes with Surge. But I also gave him a demon skill, so whenever you hit the demon skill button, whether you're tilting or not, he's gonna summon one of these giant fish. Now these fish also die in a couple of hits, let's say 3 hits because they got 3 pots on top of their backs, but you can summon 2 of them because you have 2 demon bars. Now that is risky because you lose your escape if someone catches you, but summoning 2 giant fish plus the speed and tracking of Killer Fish scales, that sounds like an absolute nightmare to deal with. I don't think he needs anything else. So let's close out this video with his ultimate, and for this one, Gyokko would summon a bunch of different pots, and from them, 10,000 slime fish would shoot out. This move is incredibly powerful already because of its sheer size, but at some point we might also see the fish get damaged by interacting with the environment, which releases their poisonous blood, so this is an ultimate that I could see not only dealing damage to the opponent, but also poisoning them in the end. And just one final note before we actually close this video, what if we gave Gyokko a unique escape? I usually don't talk about escapes, but this time, Gyokko is special. Whenever demons use the escape, it looks like they just flip out of a combo. But Gyokko can't really flip, it doesn't fit this character. Instead, what I would love to see is him shedding his own skin. The empty skin remains on stage for a little bit, and Gyokko just pops out from another vase. And that's the Gyokko moveset, and with that, we've actually finished Season 3. If you enjoyed these videos, thank you so much, but if you missed any of them, check out this one. The previous one is Hatengu, and at the end of each video, I give you a link to the next one, so you can binge all of them if you want to. Thanks for watching. Bye.